Turning now to the Supreme Court's historic decision on the Affordable Care Law. Joining us is Congresswoman Nan Hayworth, member of the House Financial Services Committee, member of the House Doctors Caucus. She is the only female doctor voting member of Congress. Also joining us tonight, former Congressional Budget Office Director Douglas Holtz-Eakin, and the Attorney General of the great state of South Carolina, Alan Wilson, who joined the Attorneys General of 25 other states in challenging Obamacare before the Supreme Court. Thank you all for being here. As the doctor in the House, if you will, Congresswoman, your first reaction to the Supreme Court decision today?
Lou, it does not change our mission at all, which is to free the American people from the burdens of this bad law. The 2010 health law was well intended. It has the right goals: good, affordable health care for all Americans, affordable, portable health insurance. But it is a bad law for us. It hurts rather than helps us. It imposes a $2 trillion bureaucracy on the American people. Those dollars need to go to care, especially to Medicare. $500 billion out of Medicare when it's already going bankrupt. Right. Our seniors, our working families, our taxpayers, our small businesses, all are unconscionably burdened by this act, and we need to repeal and replace it with a common sense plan that works for the American people and puts them at the center of health care.
Attorney General Wilson, your thoughts first on the fact that the writing, if you will, of the majority opinion, and secondly, its likely impact on your state.
Well, first, let me say this. The president and the members of Congress that supported this law shouldn't gloat too much, because I liken them to the dog that caught the car. They got their short-term victory today, but what they're going to have to explain over the next several months is how come 2 years ago, when they were trying to pass this law, not one single member of Congress that supported it called it a tax, because they didn't want to face the American people with a tax like this. And then when they went to court, the first thing they did is they ran with their lawyers to the argument that, oh, this is a tax now. And now the court basically went back, according to the dissent, and rewrote the law to basically give the president and the administration what they wanted, give them a tax. He now owns the tax, but now he's got to explain to the American people why he basically duped them by passing this law, not calling it a tax to begin with, but now claiming it is a tax.
And the impact on the state of South Carolina and your position going forward on the Affordability Care Law itself.
Well, listen, I've spoken to small business leaders and members of the NFIB today, as well as colleagues with the other attorneys general around the country, and we're all concerned for our states. I mean, obviously, some are claiming a narrow victory with the Medicaid expansion provision. I think it's going to be very harmful to the states in the long run. Members of the insurance industry and small business owners are telling me that they're not going to be able to comply with the onerous mandates and regulations that are coming their way. Many are going to have to cut corners, such as hiring people. Some insurance companies aren't going to be able to meet the mandates, and some of them are going to close down. I mean, this is going to cause health care costs to go up, and it's going to make it harder for working middle-class families to get access to affordable health care in the next 2 to 3 years.
Well, let's turn to the man who has a clear understanding of the national implications of this law, this decision, the former head of the Congressional Budget Office, Douglas Holtz-Eakin. Doug, your thoughts first, your reaction to the decision.
Well, I think as a legal matter, I was quite amazed that it was possible to uphold the Constitution and say the mandate violated the Commerce Clause and that the Medicaid expansions were a coercive use of federal power, and yet maintain the law. So here we are. This has now turned from a legal issue to a policy issue, and I would concur with what the Congresswoman said, that the American people are still waiting for the health care reform they need and deserve that provides high-quality care at low costs and affordable insurance options. This is not that, and we're going to have to move in that direction. Unfortunately, the one thing the court did went exactly the wrong direction. My reading of what they've done with the Medicaid expansions is they've given states the following choice. They can do a Medicaid expansion and bear some of the cost, or they cannot cost themselves a dime, and every one of those individuals would be eligible for subsidies in the federally subsidized exchanges. That shifts the cost from the states to the federal government. My expectation is this is going to be raising the price tag of this act by hundreds of billions of dollars.
It does, and it seems to me that you've identified a significant trap within this decision for the federal government here, and that is the majority deciding that they could not, that the federal government, the Obama administration, could not, nor could Congress, limit federal aid, which was to be the coercive response to a waiver or withdrawing from affordable care. It looks like they can stand pat to no effect, to no disadvantage of the state.
It's in fact a little bit stronger than that, because in 2014, not only could a governor or a state stand pat, they could actually roll back their Medicaid if they've expanded it all to the bare minimum required by the federal government, and anyone who they were paying 40 cents on the dollar for will be shifted over again to the federal subsidies. The state won't pay anything. The taxpayer will be at risk for not just their costs, but in fact more costs, because those insurance packages are richer and much more costly. So this was a law which had great financial risk for the nation to begin with. There was always the chance that employers would choose to dump their employees into the exchanges. Now we have an opportunity for states to dump their Medicaid programs into the exchanges. The ultimate price tag, I think, is quite high.
Congresswoman Hayworth, you as part of the Republican leadership, the House has voted, it seems like dozens of times, on repealing Obamacare. Another vote has now been scheduled for, what is it, the 11th of next month. To what end?
July 11th. Mm-hmm.
To what end?
Well, Lou, we were elected on the pledge that we would repeal and replace that law. We did have a vote in the House in January of 2011, and it was not a symbolic vote. That was the real will of the American people being expressed through us. Survey after survey has shown that the American people have not grown any fonder of this bad law in these ensuing months. So we're going to have another vote, and we are going to hope that this time the Senate will come along with us, because the American public has made its disapproval clear.
All right, Congresswoman. Douglas Holtz-Eakin, we thank you for being with us. Attorney General Wilson, as always, good to talk with you. Thank you so much.